Now, the first story I'm going to tell you is the story of the SS Persia. Now, the SS Persia was a passenger liner working during the First World War. That's the only picture I can find of her. But she's quite famous, or rather infamous, because she was the first passenger liner to be sunk by a U-boat without a warning being given. Up until this point, there was a system called the cruiser rules that applied. And what happened was, any enemy warship that was attacking an unarmed ship would fire a shot across the bows. You've heard the expression, to fire a shot across the bows. So that would cause the captain of the unarmed ships to heave to stop, and then all the passengers and all of the sailors would get out into the lifeboats and so on, and row away. And when the ship was clear, then the armed ship, the U-boat in this case, would sink, the merchantman or the liner. But the British had developed a new strategy, and what they did was they had a load of merchantmen that were actually armed to their fishing boats with guns hidden under the nets. And they had liners with guns hidden in the saloon. They would drop down the hatches and then suddenly there'd be guns. And this particular U-boat captain, a chap called Valentine, his best friend had just been sunk by one of these. He'd come up alongside what looked like an unarmed merchant ship. He'd surfaced, fired a shot across the bows, and immediately they'd returned fire and he died. And so Valentine was very upset about it. And when he saw the Persia, he decided not to issue a warning. And he just torpedoed her out of the blue. This is in the Mediterranean. But the song I'm going to sing you is not specifically about the Persia, although the Persia does come into the story. It's about a woman called Eleanor Thornton. Now, Eleanor Thornton, as you can see, a very pretty girl. She was also very clever. And Eleanor and her sister had a place in Bloomsbury. They were kind of on the edge of the Bloomsbury group with all the artists and so on. They used to give these magnificent parties, and lots of powerful people used to come along. And through her contacts that she met through this social circle, she got a job working as secretary for a chap called John Montague, who became the second Lord Bewley. But she had another job. She wasn't just a secretary. Because of her good looks and because of her contacts with the arts world, she used to sit as an artist's model for a painter called Charles Sykes. Now, you've probably never heard of Charles Sykes or seen any of his work. Well, you think you never have. But actually you have seen one, almost certainly, because Charles made a very famous little statue of Eleanor, which is called the Spirit of Ecstasy, which is, of course, the flying lady that you'll see on the front of a Rolls-Royce motor car. And all of that background comes into this story. The song is called Spirit of Ecstasy. She steps onto the gravel. The house looks so intimidating. Nervously she tucks a wisp of hair beneath her hat. Then bravely lifts the knocker, rehearsing her credentials. It's a job she feels well suited to, and true, she needs cash. And if you or I had told her then that they would soon be lovers, and for all his lordly bearing, he'd be passionate and true, she'd have smiled in sweet dismissal. I'll only be his secretary. He's married with a daughter, and I'll have far too much to do. Fly, angel, fly. Time's come to try. Now the day is done, the dream begins. Slipstream lifts those silver wings, and away you drift to brighter things across the beaming sky. Fly, angel, fly. Driving in the motor, it's her only for perfect privacy to talk about their passion and the child that's on the way. Through the lanes to Bewley, maybe stroll upon the shingle, maybe gaze my studio and pours out all her troubles, and I do my best to capture what might best be left unknown. The laughter and the sparkle, the wit and the commitment, but no whisper of a scandal that would bring a good man down. Fly, angel, fly. Time has come to try. Now the day is done. Dream begins. The slipstream lifts those silver wings, and away you drift to brighter fame. Across a beaming sky, fly, angel, fly. In those days of solemn duty, it would never do to question that his loyalty must be to king and country and estate. But when war demands a voyage, she's more than indispensable. They leave the children waiting as they steam towards their fate. Sitting down to luncheon in the safe Mediterranean, suddenly emerges a torpedo finds its mark. There's no time for the lifeboats, no time for anything. He holds her in his arms, they slide deep into the dark. Fly, angel, fly. Time has come to try. Now the day is done. Dream begins. The slipstream lifts those silver wings, and away you drift to brighter things. Across the beaming sky, fly, angel, fly. He never could remember how the water came between them in the suffocating din, in all the panic and fear. 3 days in the open, clinging on to floating things and clinging to belief and all the dreams they'd held so dear. And he steps into my studio